Welcome to Soulfire Wisdom with Kate Olson. As an evolving spirit and change adventure navigator, it is Kate's mission to empower and guide you on your path and inspire your truest passions. She will encourage you to share your gifts, speak your truth, and ignite your inner wisdom and purpose. She hopes to do so with a little humor and grace, and her own soulfire passion. Kate talks with amazing guests who have embraced the pursuit and are fanning the flames of their own passion, purpose, and soulfire wisdom. Now here's your host, Kate.
Good morning. Welcome to Soulfire Wisdom and this special broadcast for my book launch, actually, of the Joy, Resilience, Connection, 3 days to start a joyfulness practice that fuels resilience. So our show today is called a Toolbox for Joy and Resilience, and I'm going to be talking with Sandra Vesterstein, who is the CEO and founder of Thrive Learning Collective, and she is a trainer for hypnosis, NLP, and Reiki, kind of focusing on NLP. And so we'll be talking about, how you can use those tools in your daily life or with a practitioner to create more joy and resilience in your life. So I'd like to introduce Sandra right now. Hi, Sandra. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me, Kate, and congratulations on your book. That's really exciting.
Yes. So the book is called Living in Joyful Resilience, a roadmap for navigating life's ups and downs. And it comes with an accompanying journal called, or you can optionally get the journal with it, which is called Simple Soul Thoughts, Collecting Moments of Joy. And so to get started, I know Sandra because she was my first teacher for my life coach training when she was with Bennett Stellar University. And I had no idea then about hypnosis or NLP. And since Sandra has been teaching all three, hypnosis, NLP, and Reiki, for a long time, I felt like she was the perfect person to talk about all three of these. So to start off with, I think people have kind of a limited idea about what you can do with hypnosis. When they think of it, they either think of, that people learn to stop smoking, or they think of stage hypnosis. Can you talk a little bit about some of the other things that can be done with hypnosis?
Well, I think of hypnosis as, we're constantly being hypnotized. We're going in and out of trance all the time. Like, for instance, right now, a lot of people are in the trance of fear. And so we get stuck in this fear mode and we see through the lens of fear, and everything's a personal affront, or we're like our on alert button is stuck on. And so I think of hypnosis as the ability to choose your emotional state by directing your imagination. And so I use self-hypnosis all the time. And it's almost like when you're using hypnosis, whether it be for therapy or to bolster, good feelings or, really positive patterns in your life, strategies, it's like pouring vitamins into your brain. and it rejuvenates you. It makes you feel better. And like you're talking about emotional resiliency, is that your ability to actually navigate emotions. Emotions can work for us or they can work against us. And if we thought of them as tools, boy, I think we'd be a little bit more selective on what emotions or feelings we're running at a particular time. So I think of hypnosis as, yes, I use it. There are times that I use it to guide people to heal trauma. And then we go into the future and I can guide people to create an awesome future, a successful future. So I do believe that hypnosis is breaking out of the pattern, or maybe people are thinking differently of hypnosis because of all the information out now on brain research. And, it used to be, in order for us to get this information, receive it or learn about it, would take 10 years before it got to the population. All the scientists and everybody, they could have that really good information. But us, more lay people or professionals that kind of relied on that information trickling down, would take us 10 years to get it. And that's not so much anymore. Now with the internet, we can get that information quite quickly. So there's a lot of studies out there about hypnosis and, using it to break habits, to build a better future, to reinforce good feelings, to be able to actually to put yourself in a state so that you can actually show up the way you really want to show up in life. So
Yeah, a
it's
lot
very
of
different now.
people don't realize that when they're stuck in trauma or certain feelings from the past and they keep rerunning those stories, and they believe that they have to be stuck there and don't know that they don't have to be.
Mhm.
And that's one of the things that hypnosis and even NLP can help you
Mhm.
change.
Well, don't you think too, like with NLP, I think a lot of, bringing to conscious awareness of what's playing in the unconscious mind. I mean, to be fair to people, I don't think people are really thinking on an everyday basis, oh, I wonder what belief I'm running that's making me feel this way, or that's supporting this feeling or
No,
way of
no,
being.
they're not.
We're not trained that way. Um, However, when we get to learn that, 95% of our actions are automatic or habitualized. We don't even think of doing it. Like they even say that we are acting or behaving, we take action or make a decision 5 seconds before we're consciously aware that when we've made the decision. So I said yes to this interview 5 seconds before I was consciously aware of having to say yes, because it's a pattern in my past. Some other people have asked me to do interviews and I have a pattern that says yes. And so bam, yes. And because we're colleagues and I want to support you, I thought, well, that would be a great, So think of all the stuff we do automatically that we don't even slow ourselves down enough to say, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Is this really what I want? Is this how I want to behave? Is this how I want to feel in a situation? We don't do that. And I guess, for Kate, with your book and teaching people how to, what I told you before the interview, be a joy collector, it's like, how you have to teach people how to do that. And once they develop the pattern, they're going to seek out more joy. And that's
Well,
really a beautiful space.
there's something people don't understand about feelings, and we do have to, experience all of the feelings that are responses to things that happen in our life, but we don't have to, dwell in them for,
Mhm.
long periods of time. We have the ability to say, I feel this now, and then I'm going to feel this later. Or we don't even have to anticipate it. We just feel it because it's happening.
Mhm. Well, and isn't it kind of the process of self-inquiry? So that when we can take a step back and if we took the judgment out of feelings and say, take good, bad, right, wrong, and maybe place it with, because this is still a judgment, is it useful or not in the situation that I'm in? And if it's not useful, instead of pushing it away or ignoring it, because it's like, I think that's equivalent to like when you're at the beach when you were a kid and you had a beach ball and you try to keep it underwater. As soon as you let your hands off it, it poosh, came back up. Well, I think that's kind of the same thing with emotions. The more we push it away or we attempt to repress them or whatever, eventually they pop up.
Yeah.
So I always believe that we should, or it's in probably our best interest to befriend them, befriend all the emotions, and ask them, like, how would you treat a friend that was having that emotion? And my biggest thing is when I have an emotion that it's making me feel uncomfortable, instead of pushing it away, I say, gosh, what is the message? What would you like to tell me? What do I need to learn through this? And just get present with it. We have this whole mindful movement going on, and that's really a form of hypnosis because we're taking a focus on mindfulness, and
Yeah.
that's what hypnosis really is.
Self-hypnosis, or maybe even a little closer to NLP, because we don't really have to be in a trance for it.
Mhm. Yeah, but
So,
once you start focusing yourself and you start asking those mindful questions, your brain starts running a different pattern. And that's the beautiful thing about this. So, I mean, I don't think there's ever been a better time than now to learn this resiliency. And I don't know about you, Kate, but I have been seeing a lot of people that have had so many emotional buttons pushed lately, and they're in this unresourceful state and they're trying to heal themselves, but they're
yeah.
unresourceful. And so it's like
Yeah.
little 7-year-olds running them, and they're thinking that this little 7-year-old is going to be able to find the skills and resources to help them out, when really the adult version needs to do that. And
Yes,
so,
I was just actually talking to my nephew about this the other day. He had just been in the hospital,
mhm,
and he's a grown-up adult,
mhm,
and he was feeling really, he was in pain, but he was feeling worse because his wife wasn't able to come see him while he was in the
mhm.
hospital. And he was getting those like little kid feelings of being, I'm
Oh,
all alone here.
mhm.
And I said, yes, that it is really funny how, as an adult, when we're sick or hurt, we go back to those child feelings. Like, I
Mhm,
know whenever I'm not feeling well,
mhm,
I don't want I want the lights on.
mhm,
It's not
mhm,
like I'm afraid of the dark, but
mhm.
just that it makes me feel better if the lights
Right,
are on.
right.
So I think we have some of those little embedded, feelings that they're from childhood or past, you know.
Past experiences, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is what bringing NLP into this. I think the cool thing about that is a good feeling is just a thought away. And so, I recently had, after I had the COVID booster, I had a pretty significant reaction. And living by myself right now, I started to get a little scared. And then I went, stop. Is this going to be helpful?
Yeah.
No, that's not going to be helpful. So just remember a time that you felt really safe and secure. And I ran that whole memory in my mind, and all of a sudden my whole body just relaxed. And when my body was relaxed, I actually felt less discomfort. And so, I, for us, as far as resiliency, if we really embrace that a good feeling truly is a thought away, all we have to do is remember a time that we felt that way, and we can run that program, and all of a sudden all those chemicals flood into our body, and we have that sensation of a feeling that we call, or an emotion that we call a feeling. And I think, gosh, I am so grateful that I have that skill set,
Yes.
you know?
So NLP is really something that a lot of people just totally don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole big word, you
Mm-hmm.
know, neuro-linguistic programming
Mm-hmm.
kind of throws a lot of people off too.
Mm-hmm.
So can you kind of explain a little bit about exactly what neuro-linguistic programming is, as far as, you know, just
The basics.
yeah,
Basically,
an
it's
understandable little synopsis that.
well, I'll do my best to demystify it. I really believe NLP is, well, like Richard Bandler often says, it teaches people how to think. You know, everything we're doing, we're running off of a strategy. You know, you have a strategy to do this podcast. You have a strategy. You had a strategy to write the book. Some of our strategies are really, really efficient, and some are not. So if we're not getting where we want to go, then we're not broken. There's nothing wrong with us. It's like we're running the wrong strategy, or you could think of it as we're not cooking with the right recipe. So if I want to make banana bread and I'm cooking for a chocolate cake, I'm baking for a chocolate cake, I'm not going to get banana bread. So NLP teaches people how to combine their thoughts, their feelings, their behaviors, their belief systems, their attitudes to be aligned with where you want to go.
Yeah, I think of it as kind of a management tool.
Yeah,
For,
exactly.
yeah.
It actually conditions your mind for success. So you're running patterns all the time. That's how our mind works. And so we're conditioning our mind to take a certain pathway to get the results that we want.
And a lot of people, like hypnosis, a lot of people don't know that they've used NLP techniques in their life, that
Mhm.
they've, you know, learned in another way or been told about, like envisioning something that
Yep.
you are, you know, that you want to do,
Mhm.
and then that helps you perform it better when
Mhm.
you actually do try to do it.
Mhm.
A lot of people have used that technique, especially like athletes, and that is an NLP technique.
Yeah, I mean, I was just working with someone yesterday and we were talking about values, and he was talking a lot about what he's attempting to avoid. And then, you know, asking him what he really wanted. He had a little bit of it, but he didn't have a lot of, you know, what he wanted. And so how would you know where to go if you didn't ask yourself, what do I really want? Where do I want to go? You can't, if you don't ask yourself a really important question, they're like, where do I want to end up? What's the end result here? What do I want to achieve? How can we set I call it our little internal GPS to the location? So people, when they don't have a clear vision on where they want to go, they get stuck in avoiding the pain, but they have no place to go to, you know. And so, and then there's another challenge. People want to find out where they want to go, but they're running insecurity and doubt and maybe shame and disbelief.
Or like you said a minute ago, they're thinking about all the places they don't want to go.
Yes, yeah.
And that's a hard way to get someplace.
Yeah. Well, it gets to where you don't want to go.
Yeah.
Right? Because what then your brain does is it creates an image of where you don't want to go, and that becomes your landing spot, your destination for where you're going.
A very simple example of this is actually for parenting, but
Mhm.
a lot of parents have trouble getting their kids to do what they want them to do.
Mhm.
And a lot of the problem is that they say, you know, don't forget to take out the garbage. And you know, that seems like a reasonable thing to say, but it would be more effective if they said, remember to take out the garbage.
Oh, my favorite one is the try. How many people, I'm going to try to do this, I'm going to try to do that. And I'm like, well, you're probably not going to do it. And if you could try to get like even more anxious about the situation in the world right now. That would be a good use of try. If you want to create some resistance on doing something, just use that word try. You want to take the resistance out, lose the word. It's like I always say to people, if I would have known this strategy when I was raising young boys, instead of saying, don't jump in that puddle, they ran to it. They're like, yippee!
Yeah, because you just drew attention to the puddle.
Yeah, then they created an image in a nanosecond of them jumping in the puddle. Oh, there's my destination point. And if I would have known about this, I would have said, go around the puddle. And then they would make an image of them going around the puddle. And then everybody would be A-okay for the most part. Yeah, it's really, I mean, these little tools, I don't like to call them tricks, but they're tools.
Techniques.
Yeah, when we learn them, well, tools, because you're doing a toolbox, right?
Yes.
So when we utilize the tools and we employ them in our life, we just notice that life gets smoother. We can transition in and out of emotional states easier. We don't get stuck in something. It doesn't become our personality or a mood of an unresourceful state. You see people right now, they're on edge and, they're very defensive. It's becoming their personality. And you think, wow,
it's been a long time, and it's really been wearing on people.
Yeah.
So another thing, though, that people have a hard time, really grasping and understanding how it works is Reiki. And, that is also a tool that right now can be very, helpful.
Right.
So can you explain a little bit of how that works?
Well, I'll give you my explanation of Reiki from when my little guy was, my son was about, must have been like 7. And one of his little buddies was saying, well, what's your mom? And what does your mom do for a living? And he goes, she's a Reiki master. And he goes, what's that? And he goes, it's pure love. And so I think of Reiki as is just being a Reiki practitioner. We're working with energy, divine love. And love has a certain frequency, and fear has a certain frequency. And so when our body's in fear, our body systems don't work as well. We don't think, as positively. We attract people, places, and situations that are maybe a little bit on edge, and we're tense. We're holding on to things tightly. And so when using Reiki, number one, it has the effect of, it puts you in a hypnotic state. It puts you in a brainwave state that is, you're very relaxed. Your parasympathetic system turns on, and you just can chill out. And when you're in this relaxed state, your imagination can work, benefits to finding solutions for things, finding alternatives, all that kind of stuff. And it changes our cellular function, so everything starts flowing better. In fact, when we do Reiki in class, and oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful when you watch someone coming out of a Reiki session, and it might have been a 45-minute session, and they look so relaxed and so replenished. And oftentimes they say, gosh, that's better than a massage.
Yes.
What did you do?
One thing I think a lot of people don't understand about Reiki, though, is that, the Reiki master isn't really healing you.
No.
Or they're just doing Reiki, but the energy is flowing through them, and it is actually the person that's receiving the Reiki. It's their energy that is, working for them.
Well, we're conduits of energy. And when I'm training people and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, I was doing energy work on someone and, they had a back pain and then I had the back pain." Well, that's not, that's called being an empath.
Yes.
That's not Reiki, and Reiki is divine love. It's all healing. And I personally have a belief that we are our own healers. I can't heal somebody. You can't heal somebody. Everyone is their own healer. What I can do is facilitate energy and amplify it to come to the person, because oftentimes when a person's feeling sick or like mentally and emotionally fatigued, their battery's low. It's like their light is dim. And so if you're taking care of yourself as a Reiki practitioner, whether it's a Reiki master or a Reiki practitioner, it doesn't really matter. And honestly, you don't have to be either one of them, because we all have this ability. Reiki tunes our chakra system so that it can flow with that, or opens up so that energy can flow through us. And the thing is that when we serve as kind of the like extension cord to hook up divine to the person, all of a sudden their energy can get bolstered so that self-healing can occur. It's really beautiful to be able to do it with someone, and practicing self-Reiki. That's a beautiful self-love technique that you can do. And when you do that, you do experience more joy. When you're at ease, you see more of what's right in life. You're more appreciative. You have more gratitude. Everything just works out easier. Just does.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So we were trying to keep this short and get all of that explanation of hypnosis, NLP, and Reiki in. We could probably talk for hours about it.
I'm sure we could.
But I think we've given enough information for people to have, a little overview and maybe understand them a little better. So thank you for being here today.
Oh, thank you.
So for listening, there's some free gifts that are offered. And to get those free gifts, you go to soulfireradio.com/gifts, or that's where you sign up for the gifts. And there's actually 9 gifts that everyone can get. And then there's, I'm not sure, 3 or 4 bonus gifts that are going to be done by drawing. So, you can really make out like a bandit if you sign up for the gifts.
Awesome.
So go ahead and go to soulfireradio.com/gifts and sign up. So thank you, Sandra, for being here today and talking about this. And I'm just going to say, bye for now. We have our next broadcast today at 1:00, and that will be, I'll be talking with Debbie Hampton, and she is the creator of The Best Brain Possible, and she's a survivor herself of brain trauma. And so she's going to talk to us a little bit about her own resilience experience.
That sounds wonderful. Well, thank you, Kate.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Soul Fire Wisdom with Kate Olson. We hope you enjoyed the show. If we made you laugh, brightened your day, or sparked a new thought, we have succeeded in our mission. Join us next time when we'll share more secrets and truths and all the magic of transformation that is the journey to soulfire wisdom. Always remember, be fierce in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire.